Good evening, Formula One fans, and welcome to Box Box, your ultimate pit stop for all things Formula One. I am your host, Skye Williamson, and tonight we're diving into one of the most thrilling races of the season, Las Vegas, under all those lights. So, I'm not really a big fan of Las Vegas, and I will warn you, there have been some technical issues today, so not everything is working, but that's okay. So, roundup. George Russell wins the Las Vegas Grand Prix from pole and becomes the 7th driver to win multiple races this season. So Lewis Hamilton sets a new record for career podiums at 202, previously held by, himself, Lewis Hamilton. Max Verstappen wins his 4th Drivers' Championship, granting him in the Formula One Hall of Fame, the likes of Alan Prost and his Red Bull legacy, Sebastian Vettel. It also becomes the 2nd time Max Verstappen has won a race on a Saturday. He's won the championship race on a Saturday, which, if you don't know anything about Formula One, Formula One's like always on a Sunday. And Max Verstappen and the Mercedes boys did prove years and years of comments that owning a fast car wins Formula One. A fast car does not make you champion. Talent and skill does. I wonder if Leonie knows either of those things. Max Verstappen's post-race comments to Zach Brown, team principal of McLaren, so he said, and like he said, before I could only win in the fastest car, this year's been a little bit different as Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri have the fastest car at McLaren. Maybe McLaren might be further if they just let Oscar Piastri win a race. So in first place was George Russell, 2nd his teammate Lewis Hamilton, 3rd Carlos Sainz, that's a bit of a predicament if you ask me, and 4th Charles Leclerc, and 5th the world champion himself, Max Verstappen. The 2024 season for the World Drivers' Championship was painted as a strong rivalry between Max Verstappen and Lando Norris. I strongly disagree and advise anyone that feels that way to either watch the 2021 season where Lewis Hamilton was robbed of his 8th world title, or the 2016 season where best friends Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton become rivals to the extent that Mercedes and Toto Wolff made them sign a contract that they had to pay for all damages to the cars if they crashed into each other. I would rather describe this season as petty, disrespectful, just a few comments, really. These Formula One drivers, fueled by speed and ignited by adrenaline, that's been the argument for Lando Norris fans. However, the fan tidal wave seemed to change this season from the discontentment of Max Verstappen to the unsatisfaction of Lando Norris. I'm a Lewis Hamilton fan. I'm not trying to hide that. I will always be Lewis Hamilton and Jenson Button. But Max Verstappen changed it around this season, and I will be the first to say I cried when Lando Norris won in Miami. Not the way I cried when Charles Leclerc won in Monaco, because that's very different, and I would rather people stop comparing them. But the small comments, such as uttering "simply lovely" and Max Verstappen's home race as he wins, which one of my other favorite moments of this season, Brazil 2024, Max Verstappen, his masterclass from P17 to P1 with a, simply lovely. Amongst a million red flags and shocking weather conditions and a heartbreaking amount of crashes where my heart was so stressed. Oh my goodness, I thought I could have just go into cardiac arrest anytime watching my favourite drivers just crash. And I'm thinking, please, maybe we should stop the race actually, because it's kind of dangerous. So Max Verstappen came from P17 to P1. What do you have to say to that? I say skill. I say one of the best drives. Lando Norris says it was luck, not skill. Excuse me? No. driving in rain is extremely difficult to do. It's also one of the only times that you can really overtake as much, which brings me back to Lewis Hamilton and a masterclass in overtaking in Las Vegas. He ran from P10 to P2, baby. Name me a driver that could do that, other than maybe like Max Verstappen. That's not the point. This week has been some interesting comments from Tonto Wolff, the Mercedes team principal, as he discusses that he's glad that Fred, the Ferrari principal, took Lewis Hamilton because of his shelf life. Lewis Hamilton takes his 202nd podium finish. Amongst all these constant talks about shelf life, maybe Tonto Wolff does believe this, but Fred is betting on the Ferrari season of a 7 world champion that he has watched his entire career. And he's the first driver ever to be on the podium at 36 different races. I'd call that a legacy. So George Russell, let's talk about him. He's been overshadowed once again. Was it in 2022, 2023? I think it was 2023, where his win got overshadowed by Checo and Max Verstappen fighting. Now it gets overshadowed by the guy that came in 5th, won the championship, Max Verstappen. George Russell wins the Las Vegas Grand Prix with pole. It's his second win-ish. He did technically win in Belgium, but due to fact they got disqualified, it doesn't count. I do, however, think it was a masterclass in strategy. The FIA, like everything I believe in, doesn't agree with me. And that's fine. It happens every time. They just don't like me. Actually, I think it's a personal vendetta. There's like nothing other than it could be personal. And Lewis Hamilton is your F1 driver of the day. Even on his world champion day, Max Verstappen can't get a driver of the day. Except in Brazil. I mean, that's the only time I've watched a race and I've seen him get it. I could be wrong. I'm sure he's had it before. Just not this season. I think Max Verstappen deserved it this season. I think he proved that it's not the car, it is you, the driver. And I think Lewis Hamilton did that as well this season. Many people would argue he's fallen off or had a shelf life. I disagree. I think he's put in the effort and the work, and he's shown that he's still the talented F1 driver he was in his rookie year when he almost won. He almost won his rookie year. In his first 9 races, he was on podium. And think about 7 world titles. I think people brush it off that it's 7. Okay, Max Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel are regarded as some of the most greatest drivers. And we only have 4. That's not to say they don't think they aren't great, they are. Would I say maybe Jenson Button's slightly better? Maybe. Controversial opinion. I think it's interesting that the fastest car didn't win this year. He came 2nd. But there's a long way that Lando Norris has to learn. It would take patience, and I would suggest a bit more respect to Lewis Hamilton, to Max Verstappen, and to Sebastian Vettel, and possibly his teammate Oscar Piastri. And I hope, because the drivers' contention is over this year, I'm hoping it will restart next year and they will not push Oscar Piastri aside, because it hurts to watch that. I'm not a McLaren fan, I'm an Oscar Piastri fan, and it hurts. He should be given the same amount of chance, and in my opinion, he is a better driver. It's his 2nd season in F1, his first with McLaren, and he's driving better than Lando Norris. Lando Norris bottles every single pole. That's not luck. That's not skill either. Get it? George Russell got pole, he won. That's generally how most things go. So Lando Norris needs to take time reflection about some of the things he's said in clear anger that he hasn't won. And maybe he has to apologise behind the scenes. I don't know his life, I'm not going to comment on that. And I really do hope that Oscar Piastri isn't treated like a 2nd driver like his manager Mark Webber was. Yes, you can be arrogant, I'm not saying you can't. I'm a Lewis Hamilton fan. I'm well aware of the arrogance that Lewis Hamilton has had, and so is back in Vettel. I'll never forget the I don't apologise for winning. I don't apologise for winning. Or Max Verstappen not letting Checo win a race so then he could come second. I know that. But he hasn't earned his arrogance, and once he does, I can let it slide a bit more. For now, no way. Not happening. That's all today from me. That's Box by Skye Williamson. That's a checkered flag for now.